the mood is definitely reflective of your own mood at the time of the writing.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
So what was your mood at that point?
Well, there's a couple things going on there. I mean, I think there's a little bit of interpersonal, you know, it's almost one person to another, or one person almost speaking to yourself, you know. There's sort of this back and forth. I'm singing one thing sometimes, and Mimi's singing something different, and there's kind of this disjunct thing going on, and kind of it sounds like we're talking about the same thing, but then we're not, and yet the tension that's built in that, I think, it becomes more real than anything that we're trying to say, and I guess just sonically it sort of, yeah, it reflects that tension. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of times when you write, it's just, you know, it's just coming out. You're not intentional. I don't sit down and go, okay, I feel this way and I'm going to write about it, or this thing is bothering me, so I'll write about this or something. But it just over time I've learned that it comes out. If you don't try to steer it too intentionally, it will come out, and it usually will surprise you, you know.
So perhaps then this is where what you mentioned earlier with the sort of almost dream state. If you're a bit tired, where you don't overthink things, that's
right.
when the inspiration comes.
Right,
in.
right. You have to sort of trick yourself into being ignorant, so to speak. You have to trick yourself into not knowing what it is. You know, sort of trick yourself into no intention. You know, trying to, and what happens then is the real intention that comes out, I think. I don't know. It's something I struggle with over the years as you're learning and you're writing and figuring out things, and over time you learn to be a little more patient with yourself, and just trust that if you keep at it, that the right things will come out, you know.
Right.
And like I said, probably more accurately than you would if you were intentional. And so I don't know, a lot of times you don't really know what it's about. Maybe sometimes afterwards you'll see some parallels and connections, you know. Like I said, I can look at the song and I can see this tension that's going on, this back and forth with the vocals, and I don't know, it's, yeah, a lot of times the only time you have to really think about what it's about is when you're being interviewed.
Does it? Well, no, let me not go on that tangent.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm just joking about it.
No, fair enough. So was there one song that ended up on the record then that you had to be patient with?
Yeah, there's a song called Lies on there that it took me a long time to write.
Do you know why?
I don't know. Part of it, sometimes I think it was because I maybe went about it wrong. I feel like I kind of sat with the music for so long without finishing the lyrics that sort of the song became bigger in my mind than it was yet, and it becomes harder and harder to find what. It becomes harder and harder to finish the song the more it's complete in your head. And I knew it wasn't complete, but yeah, it just took a long time. It took me a long time to. I mean, I knew I had the idea, and I had some fragments of lyrics, and I really liked them, and I knew it was going to be a song, and I knew it was going to be something that would, you know, it had potential to be good and everything, but it took a long time to find where the lyrics are, and I don't know, maybe because it's really, I don't know, it's probably one of the more wordy songs that it's probably, you know, usually my songs are just not very many lines, you know, but this one has a lot, and it's sort of, it has some longer themes that go through it that it's not really as common way that I write. I mean, I don't write I don't write songs like that very often, so it's sort of
What made this different then? Why? Do you remember what the initial spark was then for the lyrics?
why don't you tell me what you really want instead of making up the same. Yeah, I had that line, the tag at the end, and then maybe one verse, you know. But I couldn't. It just took a long time to find the rest of it, you know. It's just sometimes it's like that, you know. So that one was just surreal to me because it took a while. There were definitely times where I thought, I don't know if this is just maybe I'm not gonna be able to figure this out. But then suddenly it worked, and then okay, good.
And when you write these lyrics, then are they also reflective of your own life, or can they be about anything?
I know they definitely reflect probably my own life, whether it's within myself or observation of other things. Sometimes they're songs to another person, or I'm trying to illustrate a situation or someone in a situation, and but a lot of times it's really mixed. It's really mixed with moments where sometimes like I said, sometimes I'm talking to myself or talking to, you know, sometimes it sounds like I'm talking to Mimi, who's the drummer, and my wife, you know, and sometimes it's a cry out to the forces of the world and, you know, people in power or the absurdity of things going on, the way man can be, and you know, and at the same time, you know, myself and being part of that, you know. Sometimes it's look at us as people, you know.
But yeah, you mentioned earlier that sometimes it's only afterwards that certain meaning
Oh yeah.
makes sense of the song. Was there a song on the record that had this where you thought it was about something, and now that you've had a couple of weeks, I don't know, or months that they're finished, that they've taken on a different meaning?
Yeah. Let me think for a second. I'm not sure.
Well, if there isn't one, then
I'm trying.
that's fine.
I can't think of like a super obvious one. I mean, there's always. I mean, every song always has a little surprises in it, and there's always new layers. Sometimes later on, you realize things. In fact, I don't know. Right now, it's probably too close. Some stuff I don't really learn until we've played the songs for a few years, and then you start seeing some things in it. You know.
And well, as you mentioned, your wife Mimi is also in the band. Do you discuss the themes and lyrics amongst each other before you write them? Or?
No. But we'll usually. Sometimes there's a little moment where we talk a little bit and sort of just talking about like how surprised, you know, like, oh wow, I didn't realize this was here, or, you know, sometimes it's joking, you know, we're joking like, are you talking to me? Are you singing that to me, or, you know? But no, I don't know. I think we realized that. I think if we were too aware of that, I think it would mess things up, and I think we both sort of understand that you know, in many ways they are going to be about each other, but not in a way that's, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just assumed. It's part of your life. It's going to come out.